So the first part of our review is from 3.1. So solve the system by graphing. For these questions, you'll have the graph given to you. So we're going to graph it together though, because some of them we'll have to graph. But just like how you had on the quiz, the graph was given to you on this, and all you have to do is find an intersection, and that's your answer. So here, we're going to graph it together. What is our y-intercept here? 2. So our graph crosses the y-axis at 2. And then what's our slope?
-1.
Awesome, -1. So -1 over 1 means we go down 1 to the right 1. We just connect our 2 dots. So that's our first line. And then again for the second one, what's our y-intercept?
-4.
-4. So we go down to -4. And then what's our slope?
-7 over 1.
-7 over 1. So we go down 7 to the right 1, or we would go up 7 to the left 1. So up 7 to the left 1 would put our dot here. Connect our 2 lines. Where do our 2 lines intersect? At what point? They intersect right here. What's this point? What's our coordinate here for this point? How would we label this point?
-1, 3.
Perfect, -1, 3. So remember, the first number, -1, is our x. The second number, 3, is our y. So x is equal to -1, y is equal to 3. A lot of people made mistakes on this one, on the quiz, even though the graph was given to you. All you have to do is find where they intersect. That's your point. First number is your x, second number is your y. So I'm just going to do the first one from each section with you guys today. The rest of it, you guys are going to have to do for homework. So any questions on this one? All right. Number 3, solve each system by substitution. Here we're looking for either x is equal to something or y is equal to something. We have x is equal to this. So we're going to take this, y plus 3, and plug it in for x. We don't need to do anything. We don't need to move anything around. We're just taking y plus 3, plugging it in for x. So we have -y plus 7 times y plus 3 plus 3 is equal to 0. So we just took y plus 3, plugged it in for x, substituted it in. How would we solve for y here? What do we need to do first to solve for y? We're just solving this. What do we do first?
Distribute.
Distribute. Awesome. We distribute the 7. So -y plus 7y. What's 7 times 3?
21.
21. Plus 3 is equal to 0. What do we do next? What do we do next to solve for y?
You combine like terms.
Awesome. Combine like terms. So we have -y plus 7y. What would this give us when we combine the y's?
6y.
6y. And then we have 21 plus 3. what would that be?
24.
24 is equal to 0. What do we need to do next to solve for y?
Subtract 24.
Perfect. We need to move that 24 to the other side because our goal is to get y all by itself. So we have 6y, we subtract 24, so it cancels out. So 6y is equal to negative 24. What do we do next? Divide by 6. So y is equal to, what's negative 24 divided by 6?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. So that's our answer for y. How do we find x now?
We plug it in.
Awesome. Take negative 4 and plug it in for y. So here we have x is equal to negative 4 plus 3. What do we need to do to solve for x?
Add 4. No, subtract 3. Right?
We have x is equal to negative 4 plus 3. So what do we need to do?
Combine like terms.
Combine like terms. We just add negative 4 plus 3. So x is equal to, what's negative 4 plus 3?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Perfect. So that's our answer for x. So we have an answer for x and an answer for y. And we're done. Let's go to solving by elimination. So on the next page. All right, so again, just like how on the quiz, the graph was given to you, on the test for this question, the graph will be given to you. But on the review, I just decided to challenge you a little bit and make you graph it on your own. We can graph, let's graph the first one together. So what's our y-intercept? What's our y-intercept for the first equation?
4. 4.
4. So our graph is going to cross the y-axis at 4. What's our slope?
2.
2. So 2 over 1 would be our rise over run. So instead of going up 2 and to the right 1, we'd be off the graph there. I'm just going to go down 2 and to the left. We just connect our two dots with our line. And now with our second equation, what's our y-intercept?
Wouldn't that second dot be on the right?
So I went up 2 and to the right 1 up here, but since it was off the graph, I just wanted my other point to be like on the graph, so I went down 2 and to the left. So I did like the opposite just to make sure it's still in that same line. So that's why I went down 2 and to the left. Because if I connected these two dots, so these two, I would get the same line there. I just wanted my second dot to be on the graph. Okay, for our second equation, what's our y-intercept?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. So we cross the y-axis at negative 3. What's our slope? What's our slope?
Negative 5 over 1.
Negative 5 over 1. So we're going to go down 5 and to the right 1, so our point would be over here somewhere. But I'm going to do the opposite of both just to keep it on our graph. So I'm going to go up 5 and to the left 1. So our line looks like this. Where do our 2 points intersect?
-1 and 2.
-1, comma 2. So what is our x equal to and what's our y equal to? -1, and then what's our y?
2.
2. So we got x is equal to and y is equal to, and that's our answer. So again, on the test, this will be given to you, and you just have to look for this point where they intersect. Determine the point, and then the first number is your x, the second number is your y. So you will have 2 answers for this one. If it was multiple choice, you would have an x is equal to and a y is equal to. What do we do to solve by elimination?
Multiply 2x by 2, like the whole equation by 2.
We could do that, but do we already have a pair of opposites here with the y's?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can just go ahead and combine them. We don't always have to eliminate the x's first, we can eliminate the y's. So anytime we see the same number but opposites, we can combine. So we're just going to add every part of our equation together. So it's 2x plus 4x.
6x.
6x. What happens to our y's?
Cancel out.
They cancel out. Perfect. And then what's 3 minus 9?
-6.
-6. So now how do we solve for x?
Divide.
Divide by 6. So what's x equal to?
-1.
-1. So we got x. How do we find y?
Plug it into one of the equations.
Which one do you want to plug it into?
First one.
Sure. It doesn't matter which one we plug it into as long as we plug it in for x. So we have 2 times -1 plus y is equal to 3. First thing we need to do is multiply. So -2 plus y is equal to 3. Now what do we need to do to solve for y?
Add 2.
Add 2. So y is equal to 5. So we got our answer for x and our answer for y, and we're done. Any questions on this one? All right.
Miss Carter,
Yes.
what if they don't have a positive and negative y?
All right, so let's look at number 8. What would we need to do here to get them to have a positive and negative, either x or y?
X.
Well, we want one of them to cancel out. We can either cancel out our x's or cancel out our y's.
Then y.
So we have a 5y, positive 5y. We want this one to become a negative 5y. So what do we need to do to it to make it a negative 5y? Anybody can answer this question.
Multiply by -1.
Perfect. Multiply everything by -5. So multiplying everything in our second equation by -5. So our new second equation is -15x plus or minus 5y is equal to negative 30. I'm just going to rewrite the top equation right below it. So 4x plus 5y is equal to negative 25. Can we combine these two equations and get something to cancel out now?
Yeah.
Yep. So we can just go ahead and add everything together. So when we don't have like a positive and negative or opposite numbers to start off with, we're gonna have to multiply something. So when you can't combine them right away, you know you need to multiply. All right, we'll go ahead and finish this one together. So what's 15x plus 4x? Negative 15x plus 4x.
Miss Carver,
Yes.
isn't that 36 is 30?
Oh, you're right. Thank you. So this should be negative 30. All right, what's negative 15x plus 4x?
Negative 11.
Negative 11x. Perfect. What happens to the y's?
They cancel out.
They cancel. And then what's negative 30 plus negative 25?
Negative 55.
Negative 55. Now we divide both sides by negative 11. What's negative 55 divided by negative 11?
5.
5.
5. So x is equal to 5. How do we find y?
You put the x in another equation.
Perfect. So which equation do we want to plug it into?
The second one.
Sure, let's plug it into the second. It doesn't matter as long as we plug it in for x. So we have 3 times 5 plus y is equal to 6. What do we need to do first to solve?
Multiply 3 and 5.
Perfect. So 15 plus y is equal to 6. What do we do next?
Subtract 15 to 6.
Perfect. Subtract 15. So what's y equal to?
Negative 9.
Negative 9. Awesome. So we got our answer for x and our answer for y. All right. Let's look at sketching the solution to each system of inequalities. So here we have two equations, so that means we need two graphs, but on the same one. Remember, since they're inequalities, we need to shade, and our answer is what's in common between the two. So looking at our first equation, what's our y-intercept?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. So we're going to cross at negative 3. What's our slope?
Negative 4 over 3.
Negative 4 over 3. So this means we go down 4 and to the right 3. Or we could go up 4 and to the left 3. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the left 3. So our second point is right there. Do we connect these two dots with a solid line or dotted line?
Dotted.
Awesome. A dotted line. What do we need to do next? We need to find out where we're going to shade. So how do we find out where do we shade? What do we need to do?
0, 0.
Plug in 0, 0. So you plug in 0 for x and 0 for y. So 0 is greater than negative 4 over 3 times 0 minus 3. Negative 4 over 3 times 0 is just 0, so 0 is greater than negative 3. Is this true?
Yes.
Yes, so where do we shade?
The right.
The right side. Perfect. So we shade where 0, 0 is, so over here. All right. Next, our second equation. What's our y-intercept?
3.
3. So we cross the y-axis at 3. What's our slope?
2/3.
2 over 3. So we go up 2 to the right 3. So that's our second point. Do we connect these two dots with a solid line or dotted line?
Dotted.
Dotted. Perfect. So our dotted line just goes through our 2 points there. What do we do next? What do we do next?
Plug in 0, 0.
Plug in 0, 0. So 0 is greater than 2/3 times 0 plus 3. So 0 is greater than 3. Is this true?
No.
Nope. So where are we going to shade?
The left side.
The left side. Over here. Now our final answer is just what's in common between the two. So we just erase everything else. Erase all the other shaded parts. So any questions about graphing? So remember, whenever you're graphing an inequality, if it has that greater than, less than, or greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, any inequality, part of it's going to be shaded. So anytime you see an inequality, that means you're going to involve some shading. A lot of people on the quiz just gave me the lines but didn't shade. So you lost a lot of points there if you didn't shade. Anytime you see an inequality, you have to shade. And now we have two inequalities, so we just take what's in common between the two inequalities. Any questions on this one? All right, let's go to the next page. So here we have solve each system by elimination. Now we have 3 equations. So this is the only new thing that we learned that was not on the quiz, but it's going to be on the test. So you will have one problem like this on the test. Everything else on the test is going to be just like how it was on the quiz. So when we have 3 equations, we solve it the same way, but it just takes a couple extra steps to get us started. So we need to pick one variable that we want to eliminate. What looks like a good one to eliminate? X, Y, or Z?
X.
All right, we can eliminate X. One that would be less work, which we can eliminate whatever we want. Some would be easier to eliminate than others, but one that would be less work to do would be eliminate Z, because these are already the same number and we have one that's opposite. So if we want, we can pick these 2 equations to start and then do these 2 equations and eliminate Z, and we wouldn't have to multiply by anything. If we picked X, we would have to multiply everything in the second equation by 2, which definitely we could do, but it's just a whole nother step. So let's work on eliminating Z. So our goal is to eliminate the z. We already have a positive 4 and a negative 4 here. So we can just go ahead and combine our first two equations. So what's 2x minus x?
Positive x.
Perfect. Positive x. And what is 4y minus y?
3y.
What's 4z minus 4z?
Cancels out.
Cancels out. Awesome. And then what's negative 10 plus 14?
4.
4. So now we have one equation with two variables. We need to do the same thing to get another equation with two variables. So again, since we eliminated z the first time, we're going to eliminate z the second time. We just have to pick two different equations. So we can't pick the same two. So we have to involve the third. We want to pick the second one here also because we see we have a negative 4z and a positive 4z. So they're already opposites of the same number. So we can go ahead and combine them. We don't have to multiply by anything here. We're just going to combine. So what is negative x plus 2x?
Positive x.
Positive x. What's negative y plus 5y?
Positive 4y.
Perfect. Plus 4y. What happens to the z's?
Cancels out.
Cancel. And then what's 14 minus 7?
7.
7. Awesome. So now we have two equations with two variables, so this looks just like what we did on the last page. So how can we get something to cancel out here?
Combine them.
If we combine them, what's x plus x?
2x.
2x. And what's 3y plus 4y?
7y.
7y. Does anything cancel out there?
No.
No. So we're going to have to multiply before we can cancel. So what do you want to cancel out, the x's or the y's?
X.
X's. So what do we need to multiply to get one of the x's negative?
Times negative 1.
Times negative 1. You want to multiply the first equation or the second one?
First one.
Okay. It doesn't matter because it would give us the same thing. So multiply everything times negative 1. So we have negative x, I'm just going to rewrite it down here, minus 3y is equal to negative 4. So the only thing that changed were the signs for everything. Now we can combine, these two equations. So what's x minus x? What happens to our x's?
They cancel out.
They cancel. Perfect. What is 4y minus 3y?
Y.
Y. And then what is 7 minus 4?
3.
3. So we got y is equal to 3. That's it. It's one of our answers. Now we need to find x and z. So what do we do from here? What do we need to do next?
Plug it in.
Plug it in. What are we going to plug it into? Do we plug it into one of these equations here, one of the first ones? Do we plug it into the blue one, or do we plug it into the pink one?
One of the second ones.
Perfect. We can plug it into either the blue one or the pink one. So which one do you want to do? It doesn't matter as long as we plug it in for y, but it has to be in one of these two. So let's plug it into the blue one. So we're going to plug it in for y. So we have x plus 3 times 3 is equal to 4. What do we need to do first to solve for x here?
Distribute.
Distribute or just multiply. So x plus 9 is equal to 4. What do we do next?
Subtract.
Subtract 9. So x is equal to, what's 4 minus 9?
-5.
-5. Alright, so we have x and y, now we need to find z. So what do we need to do to find z?
Get one of the first problems.
Alright, so which one of the first problems do you want to use? First, second, or third?
First.
Alright, let's use the first. So we have 2x plus 4y plus 4z is equal to -10. Remember, we're solving for z, and we have x and y already. So what do we need to do? So Winchell said we're going to use the first equation, but what do we do with it?
Plug in x and y.
Awesome. Plug in x and plug in y. So we have 2 times -5 plus 4 times 3 plus 4z is equal to -10. Now our goal is to solve for z. So what do we need to do first?
Multiply.
Multiply. So 2 times -5 would be -10. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 4z is equal to -10. What do we do next?
Combine.
Subtract 12.
We can subtract 12 to the other side. We can also just combine the -10 and 12. So what's -10 plus 12?
2.
2. So 2 plus 4z is equal to -10. Now what do we do?
Subtract.
Subtract 2. So 4z is equal to what?
-12.
-12. What do we do next?
Divide by 4.
Divide by 4. So what's z equal to?
-3.
-3. Perfect. So we have our answer for x, our answer for y, and our answer for z.
No, but can you go back to number 2?
Yes, I will. I just want to look at 14 real quick. For 14, what should we eliminate first? X, y, or z? What would be the best to eliminate? Perfect. Y. Y, we have this -5 and a +5 and another -5. So y here would be the best one to eliminate. What about for 15? What do you think would be the best to eliminate?
X.
X. Awesome. So x would be the best to eliminate first. Again, you don't have to pick it to eliminate first, but it is going to be easier and less steps if you use the one that's already the same numbers. Okay, let's go back and look at number 2.